What's up, guys? It is at TeffyWonder here, your wonderful melanated mocha-fied merjon, coming at you guys hot on the heels of episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And let me tell you guys, it is a full lituation. I cannot wait to see where this series goes. I'm so excited to kind of like break it down for you a little bit. But before I do, I have to tell you guys right now, spoiler town! We are going straight into spoiler town from here on out. So if you have not watched the episode, go watch it. Come back. It's only like 45 minutes long, and then we can go ahead and go forward, and it'll be a great ride. Also, hashtag tell your friends about us over at Headers in Charge. We appreciate it. So getting into the episode, you guys, where WandaVision was kind of like this ode to TV, told like in a really long movie, broken down into nine parts, kind of like the Snyder Cut. I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier is gonna be like theater. I feel like episode 1 was this great moving overture where it introduced us to all the characters who are going to be important, and it set the scene and like telling us where the story is going to take place. So where WandaVision was 3 weeks after the snap, I believe we're now about like 4 to 5 months. Old Cap has died, and Sam is just not feeling the responsibility of being the new Captain America. As someone who suffers like as imposter syndrome, I can 100% relate, but I'm not a fucking superhero where people depend on me in that way. So Sam, what are you doing? My guy, Cap literally picked you to be his successor. Get it together, guy. Oh my god. So, alright, before we go into that, I think the overarching theory for this series as a whole is going to be worth and worthiness. And we see here in this first episode that Sam is just not feeling worthy. And like I said, I do totally get it. Cap was the ultimate worthy one. His good nature and like supreme goodness, in a way, if you'll say, is what made the scientists back in Captain America 1 even choose him to undergo the experiment for the super soldier serum. He was able to lift Thor's hammer, and we know that Mjolnir goes off of straight worthiness, like all the way. You have to be primo, great good guy on the inside to even be able to like lift it at all. So I get it. Big boots to fill. Sam is just not feeling it, and we're gonna get like kind of like more into that. We also see Bucky here, who's struggling with like his own sense of worth in a way. We see that he's now back in Brooklyn. He's been pardoned by the government, and he's trying to make amends for like his sins as the Winter Soldier. Whether even though they weren't really his fault, he does feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility for the atrocities that he's committed. He remarks that back in Wakanda he had calm, and like what he's ultimately looking for now is peace. And his therapist kind of like calls his bullshit out on that, to say that like he's ignoring Sam's text, so being lonely and having calm and peace is actually really horrifying when you've seen such terrible things be done or have done at like the sake of your own hands. And it kind of made me beg the question that how can a man who has been so far removed from like society, from like our culture, even as Americans, how can he even begin to feel like he is due to stake a claim in it? How is he even deserving of like such a privilege? So coming again, like I said, coming back around to like that idea of whether you deserve it, whether you are worthy enough to like be here and be a part of like our society and be able to go forward with your own human experience. I think that's really important. We do get to meet the bad guys here in the series. They are called the Flag Smashers, and even though we don't really get to see too much of them just yet, I find their ideology really interesting. They believe that the world, like, post first snap, before the second one, was actually way better than the one now, that we had peace and lands without borders, and that, you know, that things were just, like, a much better than how things have kind of, like, gone back to the way they were. And in living in this, like, pandemic times, that really resonated with me, actually, because I'm one of those people where I'm just like, the system was so obviously broken before, to go back to the way it was just because we now have this vaccine, because we may be on the end of our pandemic, is an insult to everyone who has died, everyone who has suffered, everyone who has survived the horror that we've gone, not necessarily horror like here, but I mean, yeah, like everything that we have gone through, surviving this pandemic, surviving the snap in the MCU, to go back to normal is so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful to the memory of those who like fought to get through it. So I'm going to do another video on that like later. So make sure you guys stay tuned in to Head Nerds in Charge. Follow me over on Instagram at TeffyWonder. Like I said, I'm going to get more into that later. I don't want to harp on it too much now. But I see how Sam is going to have to come into clash with that ideology later, where it's like they don't think you're worthy in their old system, but in the way things were, like after that first snap, my God, it was so much better. It could be so much better if you help us, if you stay out of our way. So I kind of think that's where they're going with this, and we're gonna see. Anyway, rolling right along. So Bucky is kind of latched onto this old Japanese man who we find out is a survivor, who's the sole survivor of one of the victims that he's killed and that he wants to make amends to. He does try and go on a date and get like kind of back into the swing of things, but the past just keeps on calling, and like he's just like, I gotta go. I can't do it. So unfortunately, we also find out that he has a sister, but we don't get anything. We don't get like any play off of that. Hopefully we get to see who his sister is going forward in like the episodes to come. We do, however, get to meet Sam's sister, whose name is Sarah. I think Sam and Sarah, they're so cute together. And his family, we find out that his sister took over their family's like fishing and like crabbing business down in like New Orleans. That she survived the snap, and she had to go a hard 5 years like raising her two sons. Presumably, I guess her husband died during that time, and she had to do it by herself, trying to keep this business afloat, and it is just no longer like feasible. It's no longer viable for her. That she has come to terms with what has happened, and she's gonna move on. Sam, however, we learn he went off and joined the Air Force and just kind of let her take over everything, and he now feels I feel like he needs to redeem himself to her and to like their family legacy. So she's like, listen bro, I gotta sell this boat, I gotta move on, I got these two kids to take care of. And he's like, nah, I can't let you do that. I got a plan, I can totally like take care of this for you. And she's like, no, you don't. It's okay, I've already come to terms with everything. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I can do this. I'm the Falcon. I am somebody. I can help you. I can help turn this around for you, where he may have abandoned her in the past. So now he's trying to like move forward and be like a better brother, better uncle, and probably a better son. I'm feeling like there was some tension there, like with his parents that went unresolved. And his parents have passed, his sister's husband has passed, so he's just trying to be a good man now, especially like a good man to his family. So they go to the bank. Sam's like, listen, my guy, with this like, I don't want to say he's sleazy, because I'm sure he's just doing his job, but this banker, you guys, he made me so fucking mad. He's in there like, I know you played football or something, right? Like, I know I've seen you before. As a black person, it's like, really? We're only famous for like dribbling, for like being able to like throw a ball around? I have 100% expected him to be like, oh, do you rap? Because they were just shooting a video and you just seemed really familiar, and I was gonna fucking lose it. If he said the Sam rap, I was gonna lose it. 100%. But so we go into it, and Sam's like, no, listen, I've got military contracts, I have money coming in, like, we have a detailed business plan, and we can actually, I know we qualify for this, it's called the SBA, Small Business something, I believe, loan. He's like, I know we qualify for this, like, we deserve this, we are worth this opportunity. And the banker is like, yeah, well, maybe in the old world, Like, back then, you would have done it. But now that things are going back to normal, we've had to tighten up. And his sister makes the point that I literally almost said out of my mouth when she was like, it's funny how things always tighten up around us. And you guys, if you don't know about like redlining and unfair lending practices and wage inequality, I suggest you look it up, because that line where she says things always tighten up around us just hit so hard. And then to add insult to injury, they fucking introduced this goofy faced ass bull as the new Captain America. And you guys, I'm here. I'm with the shits for this story. I 100% am ready for this battle where Sam and Bucky both together come into their own. I was super impressed with the fight choreography and the stunt work here, like in this first episode. We've never really gotten to see like Sam really get into it, because he's always played background character, second fiddle to Captain America. So to see what Sam could actually do, like in close quarters, even with those wings on, color me impressed. He beat all the ass in that opening scene. Oh my god, it was so good. Even like, I feel like Bucky kind of like gets his shine like as the Winter Soldier, but Sam to me just kind of like flew around and like did stuff, and I 100% here for Sam beating more ass. Yes, I'm with it. So it's gonna be really cool to see how they do this story, where WandaVision was a story of grief. Now Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be a story of worth, and how both of them, and now it's going to be our worth, proving our worth in like a new world, and and hopefully this kind of like tearing back at a system where like it didn't work for us before, it's not going to work for us now. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I 100% totally loved the fact that his sister and their family sold like fish dinners or like chicken like plates and stuff like that, because that is totally like a Black experience thing. Both of my grandmothers have done it in the past. Even my mom got a little cake business out of her kitchen, and it 100% hit all the notes of authenticity for me. I'm so excited for like this writing team. I know we have a black guy who's like, I think he writes and directs in the background for this show, and I love it 100%. I think that this is going to be a great series going forward, and you guys just stay tuned. Head Nerds in Charge, we're going to be covering this most likely every week. You can keep ahead of you can keep ahead of the game over at headnerdsincharge.com. We've got articles and everything, so make sure you guys keep it locked over to headnerdsincharge.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Excuse me. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Periscope. We are definitely going to break this down more on Head Nerds in Charge, the live show every Wednesday, and you can see us every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, I believe. Again, I have been TeffyWonder, and this has been...
There's only one boss in this place, and that's me. The HNIC.